सब भक्तों, आप अभी ऐसा टॉक सुनने वाले हो, ऐसा टॉक आपने कभी नहीं सुना होगा। आउट ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड। हमारे इस्कॉन के स्पिरिचुअल साइंटिस्ट रसराज प्रभु आज के वक्ता है, और श्रील प्रभुपाद emphasized this scientific preaching so much that he ended up establishing Bhaktivedanta Institute, and he wanted ISKCON and ISKCON leaders support this BI in every possible ways, including financially. So current BI director is Rasaraj Prabhu. So आप सुनिए उनको, और I think at the end you will be talking about getting more hits or more participants. I think so that also it will happen. So we want to get more exposure to BI and your preaching and your activities, so that you could conclude. And I'm sure, I'm confident all our participants will be happily support you or join your conferences or different forums. Okay, so over to you. I would not take more of your time. You are the speaker of the day.
Well, thank you so very much, Maharaj, for kindly inviting me to talk to your people. कितना तक आज सुबह का प्रोग्राम चल सकता है? 25 मिनट का प्रोग्राम होगा?
40 minutes, 40 more minutes.
बहुत टाइम है.
Well, you could do some interactive, if you want to get some question answers going, or you want to make some presentation. So we could extend up to, right, Padmali? Kitna samay? Yeah, I think so. 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Yes, 7:15, 7:20. And then Raja Hamsa Prabhu also will come and appeal to subscribe Prabhuji's channel.
Yeah, so between two of you have 40 minutes.
Okay, that's quite fine. So सबसे पहले शुरू में मैं लोकनाथ महाराज को धन्यवाद देता हूँ. तो उन्होंने मुझे इस प्रोग्राम में इनवाइट किया है, और जैसे उन्होंने बोला, ये श्रील प्रभुपाद का बहुत ही प्यारी प्रोजेक्ट है, भक्तिवेदांता इंस्टीट्यूट. उन्होंने एक बार लिखा एक लेटर में, दिस इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रीचिंग आर्म ऑफ ISKCON. एंड बट प्रभुपादा जब वो भक्तिवेदांता इंस्टीट्यूट के बारे में बात करते थे, उस समय उन्होंने साइंटिफिक प्रीचिंग शब्द को कभी नहीं प्रयोग किया. अगर आप विकिपीडिया में देखेंगे तो आई मीन नॉट विकिपीडिया, वेदा बेस में आप अगर सर्च करेंगे तो साइंटिफिक वर्ड में, और आप देखेंगे, और 8 या 9 बार प्रभुपाद जी ने साइंटिफिक प्रेजेंटेशंस ऑफ कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस शब्द को प्रयोग किया है, और कभी वो साइंटिफिक प्रीचिंग शब्द को नहीं यूज किया. तो इसका मतलब है ये दोनों शब्द साइंटिफिक और प्रीचिंग साथ में नहीं जाएगा, उन दोनों को जमता नहीं है. क्योंकि अगर जब एक चीज साइंटिफिक है, उसको प्रीच करने का जरूरत नहीं है. प्रभुपाद जी ने और एक बार पढ़ा, वेद और पुराणों को आप मानेंगे, मैं नहीं मानूंगा, लेकिन जो साइंस का विज्ञान के द्वारा से प्रस्तुत किया होगा वो उसको सब मानना आवश्यक है. Just like, Christians and Muslims and Hindus may differ over who is God, isn't it? But they cannot differ over how a stone will fall when, dropped. Because the stone is falling according to Newton's law. और वो न्यूटन्स लॉ को सब मानना पड़ेगा. ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता है हम लोग मुस्लिम हैं तो इसलिए हम न्यूटन्स लॉ को नहीं मांगेंगे, या नहीं बोल सकता है हम लोग हिंदू हैं और न्यूटन्स लॉ को हम नहीं मांगेंगे. सो साइंस को लोग कहते हैं कि साइंस यूनिवर्सल है. यूनिवर्सल मीन्स regardless of from which country somebody is coming, regardless of which religion somebody is following, regardless of what age one has, regardless of one's gender, regardless of one's education, सबको साइंटिफिक नॉलेज अप्लाई हो जाता है. इसी एक नजर है, इसलिए साइंस को बोलते हैं यूनिवर्सल. बट फेथ ऐसा नहीं है. क्राइस्ट के ऊपर किसी ने विश्वास रखेगा और मोहम्मद के ऊपर किसी ने विश्वास रखेगा और कृष्णा के ऊपर हम लोग विश्वास रखते हैं. इसी प्रकार फेथ बेस्ड थिंग्स अलग अलग हो जाता है. लेकिन प्रभुपाद जी ने ये भी बोला कि कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस एक विज्ञान है. कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस इज अ साइंस. सो व्हाट डज दैट मीन साइंस? एक बार प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला, और भाई कहीं बार तो देहिनो अस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारम यौवनम जरा तथा देहांतर प्राप्ति धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति. सो जैसा बचपन या युग और वृद्ध, इसी प्रकार कहीं स्टेज में हम सब जा रहे हैं. तो इसी प्रकार आत्मा दूसरा शरीर भी लेता है. और प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला कि ये जो दिया है भगवद गीता में ये यूनिवर्सल है. ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता है मैं मुसलमान हूँ तो हम लोग वृद्ध नहीं बनते हैं, और ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता है हम क्रिश्चियन हैं हम यूं नहीं बनते हैं. सो प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला ये साइंस है, because it's everyone has to universally accept. This is one definition of science, universality. Is everybody following? सबको समझ आ रहा है क्या?
I think they have to unmute and speak.
They have to unmute and say, speak. I see. They're all muted. So you can raise your right hand if you follow, and you can raise your left hand if you don't follow. And I see that there are many people in this thing. Yes, one person raised his right hand. Jagannath Swami Das, I didn't see you raise your hand. Both means you're confused. Mm-hmm. What about Sri Hari Darshan Pankaj? Yeah, okay. So, science, but this is only one definition of science. You see, universality. And this is an important thing because, say, for example, Christians say that if you don't surrender to Jesus, then you will not be saved. And that's not universal. Somebody Jewish person may not accept that. So it will be interesting to see what are all the statements in different religions that are universal. You see? And whenever somebody says God, already it means that they don't know who is God. Just like if you say, Mera padosi hai, and somebody is asking you, hey, padosi kaun hai? नहीं नहीं उनका नाम है पड़ोसी बस. उसका मतलब है आपको नहीं मालूम है वो कौन है, आपको नहीं जानते, आप उनको नहीं जानते हैं. इसी प्रकार suppose we say God, and if you say, if they ask you who is God, and you say no, God is God, इसका मतलब है आप गॉड को वास्तविक नहीं जानते हैं. सो इसलिए जब प्रभुपाद जी ने हरे कृष्णा मूवमेंट को स्थापित किया अमेरिका में, कई लोग उनको बोला कि आप इंटरनेशनल सोसाइटी फॉर कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस मत बनाइए, क्योंकि लोग सोचेंगे ये सब हिंदू, सिर्फ हिंदू के लिए है. तो आप इंटरनेशनल सोसाइटी फॉर गॉड कॉन्शियसनेस बनाइए. प्रभुपाद जी ने बोला नहीं, this is not God consciousness, this is Krishna consciousness. And if you see Srimad Bhagavatam ग्रंथ का पहला स्कंद में प्रभुपाद जी ने इंट्रोडक्शन दिया है. वो इंट्रोडक्शन का फर्स्ट सेंटेंस है, The concept of God and the concept of absolute truth are not on the same level. That is the opening sentence of Srimad Bhagavatam in the introduction.
Comments are keep coming.
Oh, I see. Comments are coming. Oh, I see. There is comments also. ठीक है. Let me. No, not that when somebody calls out God.
No, that's a transcription, Prabhu.
I know, but that's a wrong transcription. Not
Right.
somebody calls out God. When somebody uses the term God to refer to God, it means they don't know who is God. That's what I was saying. Calling out to God, anybody can do. That is from the heart. And that's, that has its value no matter how you call out to God. Just like Padosi is there, you say, oh, Padosi, come here. Then, you are calling that's fine, that will work. But agar Vastavik Roop mein you want to talk about Padosi to somebody else, you cannot simply say Padosi. You have to say what is his name, what does he do, and things like that. So there's a slight difference. So it's very important that we get everything correct. Anyway, in any case, so what I don't know. This is a chat window. It's not a chat window. It's a transcription window. But I think did you disturb me? It's okay. Now I've forgotten what I was saying. Anybody can remind me what I was saying? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Because you were saying if we call our neighbor, we can't just say Padosi.
No, that's later. But before that, he pointed out
that Prabhupada named this society ISKCON.
So, no. In Bhagavatam, first sentence, Prabhupada is writing, give me this Bhagavatam, we'll see. He wrote that the concept of God and the concept of absolute truth are not on the same level. It's here it is in the first sentence of Srimad Bhagavatam. The conception of God and the conception of absolute truth are not on the same level. This is the opening sentence that Srila Prabhupada wrote for Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, we all know that Srila Prabhupada translated and commented the Prabhupada chose the word Krishna because he said that Krishna is who we want to speak about, not God. That's the chat. Whoever is transcribing has to be very accurate. Because, anyway, so the point is that therefore, he says in the beginning of Bhagavatam, and he has written this already before he came to America to start ISKCON, that God and absolute truth, Satyam Param Dhimahi, Bhagavatam says in the first verse, they're different. Anyway, so the next point is that before Srila Prabhupada wrote Srimad Bhagavatam in Vrindavan and translated, the very first book he wrote is not Srimad Bhagavatam, but Easy Journey to Other Planets, which is about modern science, matter, antimatter. So, Prabhupada, the conception of God and the conception of absolute truth are not on the same level. In any case, Prabhupada first wrote that first book, which is Krishna Consciousness. Now, he wrote in Srimad Bhagavatam and in many, many places that in the modern times, if Krishna consciousness is not presented according to science, then it will not be accepted. Prabhupada wrote that. And therefore, he gave great importance to the scientific presentations of Krishna consciousness. And for this, he actually wrote, he established the Bhaktivedanta Institute, in which his followers who are, PhDs can actually present scientifically. And, scientific presentations means you have to understand what is science, and then you have to understand what is lacking in science, and then within science you have to present it. And scientists accept things in science only when it leads to some practical use, technology. And whoever is a great scientist, whenever he has done something, it leads to practical things in the life, in the world. Newton created a science through which all the mechanical machines are working. Maxwell created a science according to which bulb and radio and telephonia, they're all working. Einstein created a science according to which not only atomic energy is there, atomic bomb, but even in your cell phone, you have your GPS for putting address. If you put, it will give you driving instructions, right mein jao, left mein jao. That is also coming through Einstein's theory of relativity. So you can say E equal to mc squared, but from that equation, it has come. Similarly, F equal to ma, just one little thing he wrote, out of which all your machines have come. Newtonian physics. Your rocket also flies according to Newton's law. So you can understand. So it's a sutra, like we have Brahma Sutras, Vedanta Sutra. Scientists also have sutras. For just a little formula from which so much can be. But one has to be expert. One must know what's F, M, A, or E equal to mc squared. What does E, M, C stand for? So devotees may think like, this is not applicable to me. Science is the scientific presentation, maybe for जिन लोगों को विश्वास नहीं है भागवतम के ऊपर या भगवद गीता के ऊपर, भगवान के ऊपर, उन लोगों के साइंटिफिक presentation जो प्रस्तुत किया हो रहा है साइंस के द्वारा से, उसका आवश्यक होगा, लेकिन हमको नहीं. Because in material science, they are trying to understand matter. And Prabhupada also wrote that by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you will not come to know Krishna directly. First, you will come to understand matter. This is there in Krishna consciousness, the topmost yoga system. I don't know whether I can share screen and show. Am I able to share my screen? So I will just...
Yes, Prabhuji, you can. You are a co-host, so you can share.
So you can go to So I go here and I put www.rasaraja.org. That's my website. And then I will go to Zoom and I will share screen. And then I'll go to this. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu. It is visible.
It is visible. So, क्या हुआ? कहाँ गया अभी?
Rasaraja.org.
Right. So now if you go to my website, rasaraja.org, this is my devotional website. But I also have another website which is actually www.ravigomatam.org. Can you see I typed it. Can you see the typing?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. That we'll go there later. So here I have one tab called Our Acharya, and I have written about Srila Prabhupada, and then there is something called Srila Prabhupada on Matter. And there, Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths. So entails means you must understand. There is no choice. And here he mentions Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, matter is there. You must understand matter. You see? So here Prabhupada is saying, in Krishna consciousness, topmost yoga system, Krishna says that out of many millions of people, one may understand him. But by chanting of this Hare Krishna, as introduced by Lord Chaitanya, chanting and dancing, you can understand Krishna within a very short time. And then he says, amazingly, knowledge begins not from Krishna, but from things which we are accustomed to see every day. In other words, after chanting, you will not that we will come to know Krishna and we will love him and we will go to Goloka and immediately, dance with him. But first one must understand matter, because the things which you are accustomed to see every day are made of 5 elements. So here is another quote. Prabhupada said, yeah?
You can tell in Hindi also.
Oh, acha. They're translating.
Okay.
Then he said, Prabhupada wrote, apart from Puranas and Vedic literature, scientifically, it is a modern science. According to their way, we can convince. Puranas, you may not believe the authority, I may not believe. So Prabhupada is not saying, I may believe, you may not believe. He says, you may not believe, or even if you say you believe, I may not believe. Prabhupada is saying. But scientific truth has to be accepted. This is that universality we speak. And then again, another time he said, and as soon as we say from Shastra, they'll say it's all mythology, then how you will meet? Another place Prabhupada wrote in Easy Journey to Other Planets, at a time when material science predominates all subjects, including the tenets of religion, it would be enlivening to see the principles of eternal religion of man from the viewpoint of modern scientists. So now I'm going to say something that going to be a little shocking for you, so we can listen carefully, and then that will make it 40 minutes, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, so he said 7:15, that's another 5 minutes.
Okay, so we'll stop there and take questions. And science is so important that here Prabhupada is saying that unless one has been trained by a spiritual master, he cannot understand what is spirit and what is matter. This is there in the Bhagavatam purport. It's in the 7:7:21. So if you want to understand what is matter and what is spirit, now I will ask you all an important question. How many of you accept that right now, when you are listening to me, you are conscious? I mean, if you're sleeping, you may or may not be conscious, but you're still dreaming, and you're in deep sleep. Sushupti, you may not be conscious, and people are in coma, then they may not be conscious. But right now, how many of you are clear that you're conscious? Please raise your right hand. Who feel that you are conscious right now? Everybody in a video. Yes, 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 yes. What about Krishna Bandhu Shivani Yadav? You didn't raise your hand. I didn't see your hand. Are you following the lecture? So you believe you are conscious right now? Raise your hand. Yes, everybody believes. But the actual fact is that mostly people are not conscious right now. But we are awake, we are having feelings, I'm thinking, I'm listening, I'm experiencing things. How can it be possible? That is, you have to know that it is actually created by matter. And because the mind is actually thinking, willing, feeling is there, intelligence is there, and the body has senses and sense organs. And by this combination of various things, so many things are happening, and there is experience in matter, not in the soul. And we simply misidentify with it. Some people might say, well, ultimately, it's like I'm seeing a movie. It may be true that whatever is happening is on the screen, but ultimately I'm the one who is seeing and experiencing it. That's not like that. If that was so simple, then simply by switching off the movie, then you can see the reality. I am in the theater, there are seats, and there's a door, I can go out. You cannot switch off this movie so easily. It's a very, that's why Krishna said, Devi Hiesha Gunamayi. I'm not going to explain those things like in this class. So I would like to say in a very humble way that the Krishna consciousness movement, the scientific wing of the Krishna consciousness movement, is not just for defeating science. It is not just for, and that's how it has been taught for a long time before me, even in Bhaktivedanta Institute. And I have done this work for more than 44 years. And so I can, I don't know whether if I just put here, www.ravigomatam.com. If you go there, those of you who are more scientifically inclined, it's not scientifically inclined, you'll see my science page. This new page has come. Can you all see it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is like a piano, and it has got various, this is very scientific. This is meant for top international scientists, to present our work. And then I also have in YouTube, if you go, today is just only simply an introduction to what is science. And it's very amazing, the science of Krishna consciousness. And if you go to YouTube and on your phone right now, and then you just type, come on. Okay. So you go here and you type Rasaraja Dasa, and then you will see one channel. There's another channel that somebody else, Gaudiya Math or something. So you see my picture, and this is the channel. In this, there are so many videos like in the Veda, not yet in modern science. Science does not study matter like that. There are also, once you type on them, you'll find all these videos are 2-3 minute short videos. And then, there are long lectures also, but these YouTube shorts are there. And you can just go here, and if you type here, this thing is there. You can subscribe to this channel, and you can listen if you are interested. And maybe, if it is so arranged that I can speak again, then I'll continue this science thing. Any questions or comments? Anybody has any questions?
भक्तों के कोई प्रश्न है या कुछ कमेंट्स है प्रभु जी के
Yes.
आज के टॉक पे, तो हैंड रेस कीजिए, विल अनम्यूट यू.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Uh,
Prabhuji, I wanted to know, you said we are not in our consciousness right now. We are into matter. We are realizing matter. So how do we know that we are in consciousness, or we ever come into it, or we don't?
that is, we are sleeping. Lord Chaitanya says, Jeev jago, Gaura Chanda bole. So this sleeping is not ordinary sleeping, and it's very intentional sleeping. So Prabhupada ji ने कहा अगर एक आदमी सो रहा है तो उनको उठ सकता है, लेकिन उठा सकता है, इस प्रॉपर हिंदी, एंड लेकिन वो अगर भावना करता है, you know, that like he's sleeping, तो उनको उठा नहीं सकता है. In fact, if you try to wake him up, he'll sleep more soundly because he is pretending. So इसी प्रकार, this is a fact that, you know, we are unwilling to actually become Krishna conscious. So we are now, however, by our Prabhupada's mercy and our fortune, we are now beginning the process of chanting Hare Krishna and trying to become Krishna conscious. But knowledge is necessary. Jnana Plavena, Krishna says, the board of knowledge. So I've just introduced the idea. You cannot map what I say to what you already know. You must replace whatever you know as the next level. Scientifically understanding Bhagavatam doesn't mean you are a PhD in science, you can understand. No, rather, even if you are a PhD in science, you neither know science nor Bhagavatam. It was a fact. You know, I'm like before I was, you know, asked by Prabhupada to start the Bhaktivedanta Institute, and not start, join and, you know, do this work. Let's say before I was inspired by Prabhupada. Then, before that, I also studied B.Tech, M.Tech. I was working in America in computer science. I was doing, I was developing compilers and operating systems and all that. But I didn't know what was science. So this science of Bhagavatam we are creating is new. And from that, you can understand material science better. We'll see those things later. For example, I have written in the second video, you can see science does not study matter. Most people will not know, most engineers, doctors, they think we are studying the body, we are studying matter, we are learning. But actually, according to science, science does not study matter. If you see that video, you'll know like that. So I only just now told you that I'm not conscious, you should be shocked. You should think, oh my God, I'm thinking not only I'm conscious, I'm thinking I'm Krishna conscious. So what is happening here? Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratya mameva yo prabhattante. So until we really surrender to Krishna, you see, it is difficult to come out of matter, and then to surrender to Krishna, everything is required, sadhana and bhakti in the heart, but also knowledge is required. And that knowledge is scientific knowledge because it's universal. Any other question?
Not really, Prabhu. There are no more hands raised. So can.
What people are.
There is one more that I think.
Yes, Darshan Pankaj.
श्री हरि दर्शन जी, अनम्यूट करके बोलिए पुणे से.
नहीं, मेरा क्वेश्चन नहीं था प्रभु जी से. मैं जस्ट कहना चाहता हूँ कि मैं उठ के.
अच्छा, दयाल गोपाल प्रभु, नेपाल पद यात्रा से.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for such very useful important points. जैसे कि आपने बताया, साइंस का कंक्लूजन होता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी अथवा कोई आउटपुट होना चाहिए, प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन होना चाहिए. तो जैसे हम भागवतम के पहले स्कंद में आता है, ये भक्ति का विज्ञान, भगवत तत्व विज्ञान है, ऐसे बोला गया. उसमें सारा हम श्रवण करते हैं भगवान की कथा, तो उससे क्या होता है, हमारा हृदय मार्जन होता है, उससे छिंदन्ति हृदयस्तस्य, हमारे हृदय में जो आसक्ति है इसका भेदन होता है और ऐसे भगवान के प्रति प्रेम होता है, ऐसा जो वर्णन किया गया है। तो हम जैसे ये भक्ति का अभ्यास करते हैं तो जो ये इसको टेक्नोलॉजी बोल सकते हैं, इससे क्या होता है, हमें इससे क्या फायदा होता है व्यावहारिक जीवन में, इसको टेक्नोलॉजी बोल सकते हैं अथवा इसके अलावा और कुछ होना चाहिए?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, टेक्नोलॉजी आएगा. Like if you go to my previous page, that is the whole thing. So if you go to my www.ravigomatam.com, if you go here, and there is appreciations. If you see a tab is there, scholarly appreciations. I've written more than 45 scientific papers, and these papers are actually also taught in American universities. Don't think that I'm just sitting here only giving lectures here. They have become, so America में classroom में हमारा जो मैं scientific paper में लिखा हूँ भागवत तात्पर्य से, उसको वो पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं American professors. Here is Nobel laureate who is saying, I was very interested in the talk by Dr. Ravi Gomatam because he's shown by some nice arguments that the proper way to think of quantum mechanics is, in terms of relationships. This is a new way of thinking. It may be that this is how we should be doing science. This is a Nobel laureate बोल रहा है कि ये रवि गोमटम, मतलब मेरा नाम है रसराज दास, उनका जो पेपर उन्होंने आज प्रस्तुत किया, ये नया दृष्टि है, ये नया दृष्टि से हो सकता है हम विज्ञान फिर से शुरू करके करना है. So we are actually changing science. This is not, and you will see that if you go to here, and I'll just show one more thing, citations. Then you'll see here, this is actually Brown University, which is one of the top universities in America. Most of the Indian top billionaires, their children and all go to study in Harvard, MIT, and Brown. Brown is Ivy League University. There, in a master's MS program course in philosophy of quantum mechanics, spring of 2010, Professor Douglas Kutach, and he selected one of my papers. I didn't tell him, I don't even know him. And he asked students to read it. An assignment 2, present an explanation of Gomatam's interpretation of Bohr's interpretation of quantum mechanics. You should articulate the conception of reality offered by Gomatam. Your paper should be approximately 1,000 to 2,500 words. So, ब्राउन यूनिवर्सिटी में पेपर को दिया है पढ़ने के लिए स्टूडेंट्स को, और स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ के ऐसे लिखना पड़ेगा. So we are actually penetrating the academic curriculum, but in India, ISKCON knows nothing about it. I'm sure that you people never heard of my work, and you don't know what is its nature. Then that's how it is going. So, so I'm trying to get the Indian movement to understand this work and support it, because Prabhupada said that this work must be supported. Yeah, Das PhD, IASCR. Wow, yes. So anyway, to complete, उत्तर को कंप्लीट करने के लिए मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ, तो साइंस से न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी आएगा भी. This is very important. It's going to come. And so I have got this new Institute of Semantic Information Sciences and Technology, which is an addition to Bhaktivedanta Institute. And if we go, Institute of Semantic Information Sciences and Technology. This is actually, here it is, Institute of Semantic Information. क्या हुआ? So this institute we have started, and I've started it, and this is affiliated to University of Mumbai. We already have MA and PhD programs by research, and this also not going forward because It's not supported, this institute. Whereas Prabhupada said in 1976 that, ISKCON should give $20,000 a month. That is now about $160,000 a month they should give. And he said, when they want more, you give. That much importance Prabhupada put. So if you go to the semantic information, science and technology, you will see that. So the semantic information, objective semantic information, is the scientific name for the 5 elements. And it will replace, you will see there, I've got papers on replacing periodic table and everything. We're going to completely replace modern science. And this semantic information sciences program will replace electrical engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, everything. You will see it. And we already have a bachelor's program, BA Tech, in semantic information, sciences and technology, which we want to start, but we have no resources, and that can actually, all of our children who are passing out of grade 12 can come, all from all over the world, people will come to study it. It is possible. Yes, sir, it's from Yudhishthir, PhD. What are your PhD in, sir?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, from please accept my humble obeisances.
Right.
Prabhuji, I'm doing PhD in chemical engineering in the topic solid state batteries.
Okay.
And
I think I have met you before online, right?
I don't know, maybe Shai.
I
guess not, Prabhuji.
Somebody sent me a CV saying that he is doing research in solid state. Maybe a lot of people are doing it nowadays. Go on.
So, Prabhuji, my question is like in academic level, is like in my college, they are very, my college is a science research institute. So in my college also, like students are very interested in spirituality also. But they're like, we cannot, we try to present scientifically, but like they are not able to get it. So elevate, we cannot able to like bring it on to the bhakti so that they can serious about practicing spiritual practices, to practice spiritual things. So how can we do that through like?
No. You neither know. You are maybe doing PhD, but you don't even know what is science. Try to understand the point. You start how to use science. जैसा लोग के पास सेल फोन है, सेल फोन यूज करते हैं, उसका मतलब नहीं है उसको इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मालूम है. So, इसी प्रकार, you are using science. We are all, that is why people are complaining in government and everywhere. There's no scientific creativity. We are still intellectual coolies of the West, like that. But the point is, so in that science, somebody may also, like for example, you are doing work in battery, and you may tomorrow discover a nice chemical, which is, very stable under different ranges of temperatures, and let's say, it just generates electricity. Maybe we find some superconducting material. We don't know. But the point is, still you're not a scientist. You're a user of science. And then Bhagavatam, the science of Bhagavatam is very advanced. So that's why it took me 44 years actually to develop the science of Bhagavatam in a way that material scientists accept. There is not an ordinary statement the Nobel laureate is saying publicly in a conference that this is how we should be doing science. So you have to, this business of college preaching and all was started by me in ISKCON. You may not even know. In the 80s, I did, now all these people who are all doing this programs, base program, college, they all came out of my preaching. And but then I went past that. And then I realized that we have to, in IIT Kanpur in 1980, I had a Bhaktivedanta student club, and there were 80 to 90 students in MTech and PhD chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna and all that. So don't think that this is a simple work. So if you want to actually, in your scientific research institute and all that, it cannot come just by coming and giving talks and, Prabhupada said that all devotees who are doing PhD and all, they should be, working in this institute, they should be trained like that. But you don't. Before today, you didn't even know about my work on this institute, correct? Is it still?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, I don't know.
Then what is the point? That's how I don't know why the movement is, because, but I'm sure that you heard of books like Origins and all that, correct? Magazine.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
That's all one level of preaching that is not, it's preaching. It's not scientific presentations. Scientific presentations are inside science. Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
In order to actually scientifically bring Bhagavatam into, and you said we want actually to scientifically present it so that people will take up chanting. That's not the purpose. That's not the purpose at all. Just like when you give somebody Krishna Prasadam, he can eat it without even being Krishna conscious. He'll get benefit. That's why we go and distribute Prasadam. Similarly, this science will actually bring technology which people will use thinking they are getting sense gratification, but actually it will make them advance in Krishna consciousness. This is Lord Chaitanya's plan. This is not my plan and Prabhupada's plan. Are you following this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Lord Chaitanya is coming to people. Prabhupada wrote, this work is for those who will not come to the temple, but it also for devotees. He wrote that. All those quotes are there in my websites and all that. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel and keep in touch. And we'll have more discussions if wanted. And we can learn more about the science. Is that okay? There are 3 more participants. And if anybody has a question, we'll take. Otherwise,
there are a few more questions, Prabhuji. We have another ID as well. Dhanurja Rajan Prabhu.
Yes, ask. Next question. कौन पूछेगा अगला प्रश्न? प्रभु?
Yeah, Dhanurja Arjun Prabhu.
They'll have to unmute themselves.
Rasaraj Prabhu, are you able to hear when devotee is already asking?
No, I'm not able to hear.
Oh, okay.
Krishna.
Yes.
Boliye, Dhanurja Arjun Prabhu, speak.
Krishna.
Boliye.
Prabhuji, my question is that in Srimad Bhagavatam, in fifth canto, there are some scientific presentations about whole universe, but we cannot get idea just by reading it. So how to understand this subject matter?
Wow, it's a good question. Bhagavad cosmology is there in Bhagavatam, but like if you want to understand astrophysics and you're in KG, kindergarten, how you can understand? You have to progress. Like that, in order to understand the 5th canto, you must understand the 3rd canto first. And in the 3rd canto, there is Bhagavad Sankhya, which is about matter. And that matter is this semantic information. Of course, a lot of my scientific work is kept secret, so you will not immediately understand and things. This is, because asuras are also looking for it. And if they get this breakthrough, their atheistic science बढ़ जाएगा. So it's very important that this must be used actually to advance theistic science. And this is why I'm trying to tell GBCs and Indian leaders, try to understand the importance of this work, because scientists are also trying to solve this problem and what is called the quantum measurement problem, which has been around for 100 years. And I have just solved it, and we want to apply that. So you cannot understand Bhagavatam cosmology without understanding space and time and matter. So that is the first thing we have to bring. Otherwise, simply explaining it's another level of reality, this and all will not work. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Yes. Our current concept of space and time that you perceive is wrong. You can perceive the world in a different way. That's all very advanced science. It will come someday. Any other question?
Yeah, we'll take one more, the last question for the day, and then we can ask them to subscribe your channel and Rajhamsa Prabhu can.
I've already asked. I've already typed the channel, YouTube channel, Rasaraja Dasa.
Sure, Prabhu. Haridas
Yeah.
Thakur Prabhu, please unmute and put your question.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Rasaraj Prabhuji, Dhanwad Prabhuji. It was quite long back, some 10 years back, I happened to see you in Vrindavan in one of the lectures. So since then I'm seeing this time. It was a little difficult for me to recognize you, in fact. My question is this, Prabhuji. We hear from the Lord in Bhagavad Gita, Indriyan Parani Ahu. We know this verse where it is said that the senses are subtler than the gross matter, and even mind is more subtle than senses, and so on. And that way, the whole science, like Bhagavatam, we study about spirit, soul, and the Paramatma, which is the subtlest form. And Bhagavatam 1:1-2 says that Bhagavatam was compiled by Vyasadeva in his very matured state. Then what is the need for any other scripture then even? And as soon as one gives a rapt attention in hearing Bhagavatam, one's Lord is situated in the heart. So my question is this, Prabhuji, if Bhagavatam itself is complete and we are recommended even not to read any other literature, then what is the need of material science, where we also hear in Chaitanya Charitamrita, ke jader vidya yat vaibhav mayar twar bhajane bada, whatever opulence we get out of studying the material science is bound to bring obstacle in our bhajan kriya. So then what is the need of, science, this physics, chemistry, mathematics? We were even our previous acharyas, they didn't have any knowledge about the today's science, but they only didn't of only the Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. They translate the material ocean.
That last point you said is nonsense. Don't speak
What
such
is that?
nonsense. That even our acharyas didn't know anything about science. That's nonsense.
Prabhuji, my question is this, about the modern science. The science Bhagavatam itself is science.
You're talking. What is your question? So your question is, what is the need for this science and scientific presentation, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Like
Okay.
Bhagavatam,
That's
Bhagavatam 1:1.
You have asked the question enough. Don't let me speak. You don't try to establish your thesis because it's wrong. So no matter how many verses you are quoting, it simply means you don't understand Bhagavatam. So the first point is, we are presenting Bhagavatam. So just like Bhagavatam is written in Sanskrit, the fact that Prabhupada wrote it in English doesn't mean it's not Bhagavatam. You follow that point?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Similarly, science is a language. So when we present Bhagavatam in scientific language, like when we say something, it doesn't cease to be science and Bhagavatam. That's the first point. And second point is that matter is the energy of Krishna. If Bhagavatam is speaking about matter in third canto, and if science is studying matter, and we are trying to present in science the Bhagavad conception of matter, how is it that we are going to science and forgetting Bhagavatam? Can you answer that question?
I couldn't understand, Prabhu. Please, can you repeat?
I'm saying that if Bhagavatam is describing in third canto matter, not only third canto, everywhere, second canto, Brahma is described. You will never see Bhagavatam without description of matter. In fact, yesterday we were reading in the 10th canto, I gave the class, and Akrura is praising the Lord. And the first thing he does is about the creation. He's saying, what is the connection between Krishna and the created world? So Bhagavatam is discussing matter thoroughly, and focus on third canto because that is Bhagavad Sankhya. And if we are presenting that, how is it that we are saying that besides Bhagavatam, something else is needed? If we are presenting Bhagavatam concept of matter, does that make sense to you?
Yes, Guruji. Like I read that in third canto and fifth canto also, there is description of different planets and the matter also, and about the time also in Bhagavatam. But what I want to know is this: is there any need of going so detailed in this material science when already we have limited time and when we have been recommended to just go for 3 scriptures only: Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and we also understand
Are
not.
you thinking the entire Bhagavatam is written just for you? Is that an illusion? I mean, you may think that you don't need to study science, but what about the whole world that's suffering? Why did Prabhupada set up the BI? This is a very wrong way to argue that, I don't need anything, I just want Bhagavatam. That's for you, that's good, fine. But then when you preach, don't present yourself as an authority on Bhagavatam, because you ignored one aspect of Bhagavatam. That's quite fine. If that's how you feel you want to go, you have a right. But you cannot deny Prabhupada, who is our Acharya, who is said that the scientific preaching. I showed you so many quotes that Prabhupada said that if it is not presented through modern science, people will not accept it. So what do you think? Prabhupada didn't know Bhagavatam? He didn't know that second verse of Bhagavatam? What is your question? I don't understand. You are making the mistake of thinking whether this is needed for you. Actually, it is needed. I explained it to you. Because you cannot understand Bhagavatam by ignoring third canto, second canto, and all that. So I'm not very clear what is your question. I mean, what are you saying? Neither you can actually afford to be without knowledge of matter, and the matter has to be developed according to the current science. That Prabhupada has said repeatedly. Is it clear or not clear?
I think a lot many things prove not clear. I think sometime if I happen to see you, then I think talk in large. Right now on this platform.
Are other people understanding this point? I see somebody from Thane, Prem Padayani Devidasi. You are understanding or not? The point I reply I gave. No, it's not a matter of you saying when I see you, I'll understand. It's a very simple point. You are arguing that your understanding of the second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is that science is something outside of Bhagavatam. Science means study of matter. It's outside of Bhagavatam. And so if you talk about science, then you are contradicting that verse. Isn't that your point?
Prabhuji, my statement is this: Bhagavatam itself, when has been told to be complete in self, then
Yes.
what is the need to, like Chetan Mahaprabhu also said that if you hear so many.
I told you my response is I'm presenting Bhagavatam. We are presenting third canto. Why are you keeping on saying Bhagavatam is complete? And we are bringing something else. And we are bringing something else. Why are you saying that? That's what I don't understand. Are you following my point?
Yes, my submission is this: that is there any need of studying the modern science so much in detail? Does everybody need to be a scientist, or does everybody need to
Nobody said that
study?
everybody needs to be a scientist. Did I say that? You cannot be a scientist if you're not a scientist. Why are you saying these things that I didn't say? Prabhupada wanted those who are scientists to present Bhagavatam concept of matter in science. And this will be of use to every devotee. And I can explain things without, that's why I said that if you go to my YouTube and all, you will see direct presentations, that are not involving science. You don't need to know science. Like you don't need to know science to use a cell phone like that. So why do you say that why should they study science and all? We are not saying that.
Okay.
Why are you creating this kind of argument?
Okay, Prabhuji. In fact, my apprehension was this, that, I mean, everybody has to go, I mean, has to understand the modern science. Okay.
Prabhu, you have to understand the matter which is presented in Bhagavatam. You cannot be ignorant of it. Now, you can talk whatever you want about God and consciousness, soul and all that, right? Because science doesn't study them. But if Bhagavatam says something about matter, scientists can question it. Do you understand that point? Because they have been studying matter for a long time, 2000 years, by Krishna's arrangement.
Yeah.
Do you understand that point?
Yes, yes.
So now if you say according to Bhagavatam there are 24 elements, science will reject it, saying no, there are 112 elements. Hydrogen, oxygen, sodium, like that. And they'll say this by earth, water, fire and all is some old name the Greeks had and all, we have disproved it. Are you following this point?
Yes, sir.
So how are we going to present that Bhagavatam? We are not going outside Bhagavatam. So that is the work of the institute. Now, if you say, I don't need to know this, you're wrong. But if you say, I don't need to know science, you may be right. Because we need to know science in order to develop that knowledge, but that can be presented to ordinary devotees who do not know science and they can benefit from it. Is that point clear to you?
Yes, sir, yes.
So ordinary devotees who don't know science, don't have to know science to get fayda out of our work. But to develop this, you need to know science. Is that point clear or not?
Yes, Prabhu. So what I'm getting is this: those who are into scientific arena or those who are scientists, they need to understand Bhagavatam, and they need to explain the modern science from the point of view of Bhagavatam. And those who are not in scientific arena, they need not understand the modern science.
No, but you didn't complete it correctly. I said something more. They can actually understand the same thing that scientific devotees have developed without knowing modern science. Because to them it can be presented without scientific equations and all in a way that they can understand. Are you understanding that point?
Yes, sir. Yes.
It's not simply that they don't need to know science, but they have to know the result of this work. Because you cannot actually understand earth, water, fire, and ether without it being presented scientifically. So please be very careful because we cannot concoct. Acharyas, Prabhupada, in third canto, part 4, Prabhupada wrote in chapter 26, he wrote that this verse is the potential basis of great scientific research work. So why did Prabhupada write that in the purport? Have you seen that?
No, I'm not able to recall, Prabhu.
Why has Prabhupada written? So you see, you are bringing your conception. Oh, I don't need to know science. I'm chanting, I'm dancing, I'm taking prasadam. That's fine for me. Fine. But the acharyas are interested in the whole world. Then you said, okay, then scientific devotees can do that and present to other people, but devotees don't have to know. No, devotees also have to know this knowledge, but they can come to know it without knowing science. That's our job. But if I'm in scientific institute, to the devotee, I cannot say you must know science, then only you will understand. No, I can explain everything totally quoting Bhagavatam verses and Bhagavad Gita verses, just like a regular class. Are you following?
Yes, Prabhu. So, yeah, you mean devotees need to know the material science, but through the ways and means of Bhagavatam.
Not material science, science of matter given in Bhagavatam. Why do you keep on saying material science? If by material science you mean what the karmis are doing outside, that is not the point. The science of matter that is given in the Bhagavatam, devotees should understand. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Don't create such a disturbance to the presentation of Bhagavatam. just because you think you understand the second verse in one way. All right. There are always people, devotees, who argue like this. That's not a good argument. So shall we stop here?
Yes, Prabhuji. So let us all take this opportunity to thank His Grace Rasaraj Gaur Prabhu from bottom of our hearts. सभी भक्तों से अनुरोध है हमारी परंपरागत पद्धति से एक बार हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का उच्चारण करके हम श्रीमान रसराज प्रभु का हृदय पूर्वक आभार व्यक्त करते हैं कि प्रभु जी ने जो आज दृढ़ता से ये सिद्धांत हमें समझाए या सिखाए, उसके लिए हम प्रभु जी का आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। एक बार हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का उच्चारण करके हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। और साथ ही में सभी भक्तों से अनुरोध है, ध्यान दीजिए, आपके चैट में एक लिंक शेयर किया है अभी अभी, उसे कृपा करके आप देखिए और केवल आपको उस लिंक पे क्लिक करना है जो प्रभु जी ने ऑलरेडी अपने टॉक के समय बताया। तो चैट क्लिक करके आप उनका जो चैनल है उसे सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। उन्हें, जैसे प्रभु जी कह रहे थे, उन्हें सपोर्ट की आवश्यकता है, तो हमारा केवल इतना सपोर्ट उन्हें चाहिए कि हम ये चैनल सब्सक्राइब करें। तो सभी भक्तों से अनुरोध है, विदाउट फेल इसे अभी अभी तुरंत सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं। आप जो चैट में देख रहे हैं, केवल आपको उसे एक बार बस टच करना है, उसे आप ऐसे, आपका जो ऐसा दिख रहा होगा साइन, तो बस उसे क्लिक कीजिए और वहाँ राइट साइड पे आपको सब्सक्राइब बटन दिखेगा। आप सभी के अनुकूलता के लिए मैं स्क्रीन शेयर करके दिखा देता हूँ। आसान है, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है। तो शेयर, ये जो काला बटन आप देख रहे हैं जिसके आसपास अभी कर्सर घूम रहा है, बस इसको आपको क्लिक करना है इस तरह से बस। तो मुश्किल से 1 सेकंड लगेगा। तो आशा है आप सभी ने किया है। परम करुणा प्रभु ने किए, हैंड रेस कर रहे हैं, थम्स अप करके बता रहे हैं। सभी भक्तों ने किया इसे रजिस्टर। श्याम सुंदर शर्मा प्रभु भी रजिस्टर किए इसे या सब्सक्राइब किए, तो धन्यवाद जिन भक्तों ने किए हैं। पुनः आपको बता रहे हैं, चैट में केवल उस जो लिंक है पुनः पेस्ट कर रहे हैं, केवल इस लिंक पे जाके सब्सक्राइब करना है। प्रभु जी इतने वर्षों से,
कल भी बताना होगा सबको।
जी गुरुमा,
आने वाले दिनों में यू कुड रिपीट
जी,
और सबको रिमाइंडर दो
जी,
सबको उपस्थिति में।
जी जी।
ओके,
तो इसी के साथ हम आज के सत्र को यहीं विराम देंगे। कल पुनः गुरुमा जी के सानिध्य में हरि नाम जप और जपा टॉक के लिए हम एकत्रित होंगे। श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। इस्कॉन भक्ति वेदांत इंस्टीट्यूट की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। परम पूज्य श्री लोकनाथ स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। परम पूज्य श्री भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर स्वामी महाराज की जय। श्रीमान रसराज प्रभु की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय।